Big news out of Geneva this week. The United States and China have agreed to stop setting each other's economies on fire, temporarily. After years of lobbing tariffs like dodgeballs at a middle school gym class, both countries have signed a 90-day truce that lowers the heat. It's a pause, a timeout, a moment where two superpowers who've been locked in an economic Cold War decided maybe we could try something wild, like acting like adults. The U.S. will roll tariffs on Chinese goods down from a jaw-dropping 145% to a still high but less insane 30%. China, in turn, will lower its tariffs on U.S. imports from 125% to 10%. And just like that, the markets exhaled. S&P 500 futures popped 2.8%. The dollar gained ground. Analysts started using words like optimism again, which for Wall Street is basically a group hug. But let's not get it twisted. This isn't a happy ending. This is a walk back, a reversal of years of manufactured chaos, a de-escalation of something that didn't need to be escalated in the first place. Because here's the truth. We didn't stumble into this trade war. It was orchestrated. It was loud. It was reckless. And it started with Trump. Back in 2018, the Trump administration launched what he called a good and easy to win trade war with China. The theory, if you could call it that, was that by slapping tariffs on everything from steel to soybeans, the U.S. would bring China to its knees. What actually happened? American farmers got hit first and hardest. Manufacturing took a body blow. Small businesses suddenly found themselves buried under higher costs and disrupted supply chains. And American families, they got to watch everyday items, washing machines, groceries, furniture, spike in price, all in the name of a fight no one asked for. And now, years later, the same people who lit the match are stepping back like, oh wow, would you look at that? Fire is hot. The Trump team treated global trade like a reality show. Peter Navarro, the same guy who once cited a fake persona named Ron Vera to support his policies, was out here pushing theories that made zero economic sense but sounded good on Fox News. It wasn't a strategy. It was a storyline. They wanted to look tough on China, even if it meant torching the actual livelihoods of American workers. The jobs that were supposed to come back, they didn't. The factories that were going to reopen, mostly photo ops. Meanwhile, China leaned harder into self-sufficiency, built new trade partnerships elsewhere, and rode out the storm. Now here we are, Geneva, May 2025. Two countries sitting down and basically saying, let's pretend we didn't just waste a decade playing economic chicken with the global economy. It's the diplomatic equivalent of flipping the Monopoly board and then asking if anyone wants to start over. And sure, the market rallied. Investors are thrilled. But everyday people, the ones who paid more for diapers, groceries, car parts, and rent over the last several years, they don't get that time or that money back. A 90-day truce doesn't reverse the closures, the layoffs, the ripple effects of instability. It doesn't change the fact that this war was political theater with real-world consequences. So what now? Well, 90 days isn't forever, and both sides are calling this a window, a chance to renegotiate terms, rethink global cooperation, maybe even modernize the outdated frameworks that got us into this mess. But let's be honest, it's also a countdown. To the next election, to the next outburst, to the next tweet that turns supply chains into spaghetti again. And speaking of elections, Trump is back in the headlines, still casting himself as some kind of economic genius. Never mind the fact that his trade policies were consistently rated as some of the most damaging by nonpartisan economists. Never mind that American farmers had to be bailed out with tens of billions in taxpayer dollars just to survive the very tariffs he imposed. Never mind that he dragged the U.S. into a volatile trade war without a plan, then left everyone else to clean it up. This isn't leadership, it's a loop. The same playbook, the same bluster, and now the same people trying to spin this moment as proof that the system works, when really, it's just proof that people eventually get tired of bleeding money. The good news, cooler heads are at the table. For now, there's an opportunity here for real progress, a chance to stabilize the relationship between the world's two largest economies. To center trade on logic, not ego. To rebuild trust, not just portfolios. But we've been here before, so let's not mistake a ceasefire for peace. Let's not pretend that this was all necessary or that anyone came out ahead. What we got this week isn't a victory, it's an off-ramp. And after years of unnecessary whiplash, we'll take it. Just remember who steered us into the crash in the first place.